Hey, thanks for checking out this week's video. So today I'm trying some new products that were very kindly sent to me by Arteza. You may have heard of this brand going around quite a bit. It is a sort of budget brand that make high quality art supplies, or so they claim. So this is what I was testing out. Full disclaimer, they did send me these products for free in exchange for me creating a video for them to use on their website. But I was not paid to do anything, I was not paid to say anything. All of these sort of opinions and anything I say about this brand is completely my own opinion, but I like to be as transparent as possible, so there you go. So thank you Arteza for sending me these. I had so much fun playing around. The products they sent me were a set of watercolor pencils, some brush pen markers, the water brushes you see there with the red on, they sent those two, and some detail brushes and the paper as well. So it's like a whole set, everything that I use in this video, apart from the white acrylic marker at the end, which I think was Posca. I'll put it all in the description box below for you to check out, but other than that, one product is all Arteza. Just a heads up, I'm going to be doing another video on these products that is just a pure review. I was going to put it in with this, but the brush pens alone create this really cool effect where they transition from like the colour that they are to a different colour. It's really hard to describe, so I wanted to dedicate a whole video to everything so I can better show you what I mean. So although all these products were sort of water-based and not too incredibly different from using other water-based products like Watercolor or gouache, I still felt like I was really stepping outside of my comfort zone with this piece. I've never completed a full piece of artwork with brush pens before, so that was something incredibly new. And they kind of work a little bit different. Actually, I was really surprised by the brush pens because they were my ultimate favourite. The biggest problem I had with the brush pens is that I could not get the detail I wanted. They're quite dry, so if you want to do a line with it, you have to go very slowly, which is fine, but then they're also really dark. So between that and the watercolor paper pads are cold press, so there is texture, and I usually use a hot press, which is smoother, and I just find it so much easier to get the details. On top of that, I'm working fairly small. This is about a 5 size-ish, because the paper was turned on its side. Basically, excuses, and some more excuses. It could have turned out better had I been using what I'm comfortable with, but isn't that the case for everything? So I'm still happy with the results, and I had so much more fun than I ever anticipated with this. I'm definitely going to be revisiting the brush markers. I wasn't as impressed with the watercolor pencils, which is really disappointing because I was mostly looking forward to them, but the main grievance I had with that, and again I will cover this in the review video, the main issue I had with those is that you could still see your lines underneath. So once you re-wet them, it didn't all activate and it didn't pick up all the pigment. So you either had to do it very neatly or you wouldn't get a very smooth transition, and I didn't really feel like there was too many instances where I still wanted the line to show through after using the watercolor on top, other than like you can see I'm using it around her eyes and the sharper details and features. That's great, sure, but yeah, I was expecting a bit more from the watercolor pencils, but this is my first time with watercolor pencils, so perhaps that's how they're supposed to be. If you work in this medium, let me know how it compares to the stuff that you use, because I'd be really interested to know. So I don't know about you, but I don't often step outside of my comfort zone. Even when I'm trying something new and I'm trying to force myself to step outside my comfort zone. So rather than just like in this piece, just embracing the new mediums that I'm working in and just really going for it and seeing what happens and it all being okay however it turns out, I was really holding back and doing my usual thing where I very slowly build up the layers. And at the beginning I really loved how soft it was and it was taking so long, but then I began to notice that for instance, these brush pens were doing this cool thing, like I said, about the color transitions. And I couldn't control that, like I couldn't make that happen where I wanted it to happen, it just did it itself, and there was something kind of freeing in that. For ages in this, I'm holding back, really trying to keep it as controlled as possible, And it got to a point where it was looking really ugly, and I didn't know if I was going to start again or not. And it was the point where the hair wasn't quite dark enough, and when I start making it go much darker, I just really started going for it more. I'm like, you know what, this might end up in the bin anyway, because I'm really unsure if I even like it, and I'm not going to put something out there that I don't like. It doesn't have to be my best work, but I've still got to like it at the end of the day. So I was like, you know what, it's probably going to end up in the bin, so I'm just going to do whatever I want. So then at this point, I'm really not thinking about controlling it and visualizing the results I want and trying to achieve that. I was just like, well, let's stick this here, put a bit of water on it, let it dry. Let's figure it out once it's dried. And I ended up getting this really cool texture, like in the hair. You can actually see the color transitions, like it goes from this dark gray to this bluish kind of color, and sometimes I felt like I could see a hint of purple, so I took the pink from the flowers and added that to the highlights of the hair. And it was around this time I just stopped worrying. You can see the hair's getting darker and darker, and it was that part that I was too scared to do because I felt like I was just gonna ruin it. And again, with it being a new media that I didn't fully grasp, I didn't feel like I could come back from any really big mistakes, and I'd have to start again. A big part of learning though is making those mistakes and trying to figure them out, how to fix them, or just, like I say, starting again, and that's how you learn. So I guess going forward into new pieces, especially when it is new mediums and things that I'm using, what I'll probably force myself to do is just to go big. That's probably a bit vague, but I mean, just to go crazy with it, to explore everything that the medium has to offer, to see what effects can come out of it and how you can erase those effects if you wanted to. Because let's be honest, by experimenting, that is how happy accidents happen. And if Bob Ross taught us anything, is that happy accidents are the best. So I don't know if you guys really see it in this video, but I can see the exact point where I stopped caring too much and just had fun with it. And I even went on to do these kind of paint splattery drip things, which were really fun. I don't know how much they really added to it, but I really enjoyed it. I think the biggest mistake that I made, that I would do differently, is flowers, because they're supposed to be orchids, and the orchids are quite white. I'm so used to being able to just get some white gouache and go over the top and everything be okay, but I should have really left more white. I think I maybe got a bit too carried away with the pink splatters and drips and things, but you know, no regrets there. As an attempt to fix it, I tried to make the shadows on the orchids a bit darker, which is why I go in with the grey again afterwards, which helped a little, but it was not ideal. Other than that, I'm really happy with how this piece turned out, and I hope you enjoyed seeing a different kind of process from me, and that is about it, really. I will just say on an end note, like I really did feel like I was missing coloured pencils for this. Like I really wanted to go get my polychromos and add further details, because the watercolour pencils just weren't doing enough for me personally, because they were so grainy and so scratchy. There was too much texture. Perhaps other people who like texture in their work would benefit more from them. I just like smoother transitions, I guess. But I am going to revisit these when I get a chance, and I'll definitely be using hot press watercolor paper. And in fact, if Arteza ever did bring out a hot pressed watercolor pack, I would be all over it, because the quality of this paper was good. I mean, the amount of water I was putting onto this, and a few of the fibers were starting to lift off, but I really did push it to its limits. That's something I will test more thoroughly in the review video, so keep your eyes out for that if you're interested in seeing what these products really have to offer. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh, also keep an eye on my Etsy shop, because I discovered I have some prints. Don't know where they came from, but I have some prints. I think it was when I did my art exhibition. I've got some prints left over, so I'm gonna get those up in my shop within the next week, hopefully. So check those out if you're interested. I hope you all had a good Easter weekend if you celebrate. If not, I hope you just enjoyed the weekend. So don't forget, if you liked this video, do give me a like, and if you want to see more, then hit that subscribe button. Until next time, bye!